The scene opens in a dimly lit room filled with an ambient hum of a television playing a crime documentary. The camera pans across scattered notebooks filled with sketches and notes about infamous killers. The walls are covered in crime scene photos, newspaper clippings, and psychological profiles. A faint flicker of light from the TV reflects on Jada's focused expression as she watches intently. Jada Miller's story begins not with bloodshed, but in the confines of a chaotic home. She grew up in a household where love was scarce and chaos was the norm. Arguments echoed through the narrow halls like relentless thunderstorms, leaving Jada with a perpetual sense of unease. Her parents' constant fighting, the financial struggles, and the emotional neglect created a toxic environment that felt inescapable. For Jada, the outside world was just as unforgiving as the inside of her home. Now we cut to a scene of young Jada sitting alone in her room. Her eyes glued to a small television, stacks of true crime books and DVDs are piled high around her, forming a fortress of morbid curiosity. The soft glow of the screen illuminates her face as she watches the grainy footage of the Ted Bundy trial, the confession tapes of Jeffrey Dahmer, and the cryptic messages of the Zodiac Killer. In this suffocating atmosphere, Jada found solace in the darkest corners of the human behavior, true crime documentaries. What started as a way to escape the constant turmoil of her home soon became an obsession. She was captivated by the tales of those who defied social norms, not through acts of heroism, unfortunately, but through the unthinkable. Jada was not merely watching, she was studying, absorbing every detail, if it was her lifeline. The camera zooms in on Jada's notebooks where she has scribbled details and notes under headings. Ted Bundy, the charm of manipulation. Jeffrey Dahmer's isolation and control. The Zodiac's mystery and fear. Each page filled with observations, patterns, and quotes, meticulously organized and highlighted. Her favorite was Ted Bundy, the charming killer who manipulated his way into the lives and ultimately their deaths of all his victims. She admired his ability to blend in, to wear a mask of normalcy while harboring a monstrous side. Jeffrey Dahmer's twisted need for control and his descent into depravity intrigued her deeply, particularly his ability to operate in secrecy for so long. But the Zodiac, who truly captivated Jada's mind, a phantom who taunted police with cryptic letters, a ghost whose identity remains a mystery to this day. Now we cut to Jada meticulously cutting out a newspaper clipping about the Zodiac, pinning it to her wall next to her other trophies, a twisted gallery of killers becoming unknown mentors. Jada was drawn to the Zodiac's ability to manipulate fear, to be ever present yet invisible. It wasn't just the murders that fascinated her, it was the psychological warfare, the power to send entire cities into panic without ever being seen. Jada saw in these killers not just criminals, but a flawed individual who wielded power in the most sinister ways, turning their vulnerabilities into strengths. The screen flickers again, shifting footage of the police failing to catch the Zodiac. Jada's face is stone cold, her eyes reflecting the cunning of the very figure she idolizes. For Jada, these men were more than just subjects of fascination. They were icons. They were proof that in a world that's made her feel powerless, control could be seized, one calculated step at a time. In her mind, these killers weren't just your cautionary tales. They were the blueprints for survival in a world that had offered her none. She has absorbed their stories, their methods, and most importantly, the ability to stay one step ahead of everyone else. The scene fades as Jada, now older, sits alone in the same dim room, surrounded by the ever-growing archive of horror, and her expression is now one of quiet determination. This was the foundation of Jada's dark descent, an escape from pain of her household into a world where she believed she could finally have control, even if it means embracing the darkness entirely. We have it. Jada Miller. We're introduced to her. We know who she is. We know her childhood. We know what she went through. We know what she likes. So now we get to embark on this journey of this character that I completely created up in the whimsical mind of my mind. So it's going to be a hell of a story. But we had to give you a little origin to it of what happens and what's going to happen, what's going on. So when the shit gets real, it gets real. So you know where it's coming from. So thanks for listening. This is Act 1. It was really a nice journey to put together to create. It was an experience. I really enjoyed it. So, like I said, let me know what you think in the comments, and hopefully Act 2 will jump out soon. Peace.